Grab his tail, Bella! Don't let him death roll!
That was me, Bella, a girl whose hardest decision last week was choosing between gel or acrylic nails, screaming at the top of my lungs while straddling a 200-pound alligator in the middle of a muddy swamp. My Gucci loafers were ruined, my hair looked like a bird's nest, and I was about to become lunch for a reptile. Hi everyone, welcome back. If you think your parents are strict, just wait. My dad didn't just ground me. He exiled me to a swamp with a crazy uncle who brushes his alligator's teeth. Today, I'm going to tell you how I went from an NYC Princess to the Swamp Queen who took down an international crime ring. Grab a snack, because this tea is muddy. Let's rewind 2 weeks. My life was perfect. I lived in a penthouse in Manhattan with my little brother, Max, a total iPad kid by the way, and my dad, a high-profile international lawyer. I had a black card, a chauffeur, and my biggest problem was that the Wi-Fi in the West Wing was slightly slow. But one Tuesday night, Dad came home looking pale. He was packing a bag.
Bella, Max, listen to me.
He said, his voice serious.
I have to go on a business trip. A dangerous one. I can't tell you where.
Okay, Daddy,
I said, checking my phone.
Can I throw a party while you're gone?
No.
He snapped.
You're not staying here. It's not safe. I'm sending you to stay with my brother, Uncle Otis.
Uncle Otis?
I laughed.
The one you never talk about? Does he live in the Hamptons?
Dad didn't smile.
He lives in Louisiana, in the bayou.
Before I could scream, we were on a plane. No private jet this time, economy class, next to a baby that screamed for 4 hours. We landed in Louisiana. It was hot, not beach day hot. It was melting my makeup off my face, humid. A rusty Jeep pulled up, and out stepped Otis. Imagine a bear, but human. He was wearing a vest made of fishing nets, camo pants, and no shoes. He had a beard that looked like it had its own ecosystem.
Well, looky here.
Otis shouted, spitting something on the ground.
City mice in the swamp.
Max looked at me, terrified.
Bella, does this car have Bluetooth?
Max, this car doesn't even have doors.
I whispered. The drive was a nightmare. We went deeper and deeper into the swamp. The trees had moss hanging off them like ghosts. The water was black and bubbling. Finally, we arrived at the mansion. It was a wooden shack on stilts, hovering over the mud.
Home sweet home.
Otis grilled. I stepped out and immediately my heel sank 6 inches into the mud. Squish. Rip, Pradas, I whispered, holding back tears. We walked inside. It smelled like wet dog and old soup.
Where's my room?
I demanded.
And where is the shower?
Shower's out back. It's a bucket.
Otis said, opening the fridge. Suddenly, I heard a low, rumbling growl coming from under the kitchen table. I froze.
Otis, do you have a dog?
Better.
Otis laughed. He whistled. And out crawled a 10-foot-long albino alligator. It was pure white, with pink eyes and teeth the size of steak knives. I screamed so loud I think I shattered the windows. Max fainted, literally hit the floor.
Meet Snowball.
Otis cooed, petting the monster's head.
He don't bite. Unless you smell like fear. Or chicken.
I realized right then, I wasn't just grounded. I was in a horror movie. The first week was torture. Uncle Otis didn't believe in sleeping in. He woke us up at 4 a.m. by banging pots and pans.
Time to check the crawfish traps.
I had to wade into waist-deep water to pull up heavy cages of shrimp and crawfish.
Ew. Ew!
I shrieked every 5 seconds.
Ew! Something touched my leg!
It's just nature, Princess. Stop whining and start pulling.
Max was suffering too. Otis took his iPad away.
You want entertainment?
Otis handed him an axe.
Chop wood. Minecraft, but real.
I hated Otis. I hated the bugs. I hated the smell. I plotted my escape every night. I tried to build a raft out of empty soda bottles, but it sank immediately.
I'm going
But
to
then
town.
something shifted. One afternoon, Otis went into town for supplies. I was sitting on the porch, filing my nails, when I heard a distress noise. Hiss, hiss. It was Snowball. The alligator was tangled in some old fishing wire near the dock. He was thrashing around, cutting his white skin.
Don't go near him, Bella. He'll eat you.
Max was hiding inside. I looked at Snowball. His pink eyes looked scared. I couldn't just leave him. I grabbed a pair of wire cutters. My hands were shaking. I approached the beast.
Okay, Snowball, don't eat me. I taste like hairspray and anxiety.
I got close. He opened his jaws. I flinched. But he didn't snap. He stayed still. I snipped the wire. Once, twice. As soon as he was free, I jumped back. But Snowball didn't attack. He nudged my leg with his snout. He let out a soft purr.
Did you know gators purr? It sounds like a motorcycle.
I petted his cold, scaly head. "You're actually kinda cute," I whispered. From that day on, Snowball followed me everywhere. He was like a giant, scaly puppy, and I started to see the swamp differently. I looked at the textures, the snake skins, the lotus flowers, the iridescent beetle wings. I started sketching designs. I made a dress out of an old fishing net and decorated it with dried alligator scales that Snowball shed, naturally.
Hey,
I thought.
this is actually fashion.
But the piece didn't last. Otis started acting weird. He was always on his satellite phone, whispering.
They're getting close. No, the kids are here. I can't hold them off forever.
I eavesdropped from the bathroom. Who was coming? Was Otis a criminal? Was Dad running from the mob? One night, I saw lights on the water. Not fireflies, flashlights. Fast boats were circling our shack.
Otis,
I asked at dinner.
who are those people?
Otis slammed his fork down.
Poachers. Bad men. They hunt rare animals.
He looked at Snowball, who was sleeping by the fire.
An albino alligator is worth $1 million on the black market. They want him,
And they want something else.
What else?
I asked.
Me,
Otis said grimly.
and maybe you.
That night, the storm hit. Thunder shook the shack. Suddenly, crash! The front door was kicked in. 5 men in black tactical gear stormed in. They had tranquilizer guns and electric batons.
Grab the lizard!
The leader shouted. Otis fought like a beast. He threw a chair, he punched a guy into the wall.
Run, Bella! Take Max and run!
Otis screamed. But there were too many of them. They tased Otis. He fell to the ground. They threw a net over Snowball. My poor gator thrashed and hissed, but they dragged him out.
Leave my uncle in peace!
Max tried to be brave, he yelled, holding his Minecraft axe. The leader laughed.
Take this kid with you, too.
They grabbed Max. No! I screamed, lunging forward. A guard backhanded me. I hit the floor, dizzy.
Leave the girl. She's useless.
The leader sneered.
The swamp will eat her by morning.
They left. They took Otis, Max, and Snowball. They left me alone in the dark, with a storm raging outside. I lay on the floor, crying. I'm useless, I thought. Just a city girl. I can't save them. I looked down. My dress was torn. My nails were broken. But then I saw it. Max's glasses were on the floor, cracked. Rage, pure, hot rage filled my chest. They took my brother. They took my uncle. They took my alligator. I stood up. I went to the mirror. I wiped the blood off my lip.
You're not a princess anymore, Bella. You're a Vane. And Vanes don't quit.
I ran to Otis's shed. I grabbed his spare gear, a waterproof jacket, a flare gun, and the keys to his beast, the high-speed airboat with the giant fan on the back. I had never driven it alone. Otis only gave me one lesson. I jumped in. "Please start," I prayed. I turned the key. The massive engine roared to life like a dragon waking up. Vroom! "Coming for you, Max," I whispered. I sped into the darkness. The rain stung my face like needles. I followed the lights of the poachers' boats. I knew the swamp now. I knew the shortcuts. The poachers were heading for Dead Man's Creek, a maze of sharp roots and shallow water. I floored it. The airboat flew over the water, skimming the surface. I caught up to the rear boat. The guard saw me.
It's the girl!
He aimed his gun. I swerved hard to the left, spraying a massive wave of mud and water into his face. He blinded, crashed his boat into a tree stump. 1 down, 2 to go. I saw the main boat ahead. Max was tied up on the deck. Snowball was in a cage. I screamed over the engine. The leader looked back.
Persistent little brat!
He started shooting. Bang! Bang! I ducked. A bullet hit the fan cage. Sparks flew. Think, Bella, think! I remembered something Otis taught me. The whistle. The specific frequency whistle he used to call the wild gators for feeding time. I reached into my pocket. I had the whistle. I blew it as hard as I could. It was a high-pitched shriek that cut through the storm. Suddenly, the water around the poacher's boat started to boil. Dozens of yellow eyes popped up. The local gator population had arrived for dinner, and they looked hungry. The poachers panicked. Gators were bumping their boat, trying to climb up.
Turn the boat around! Now!
The leader screamed. But in their panic, they turned straight into the black mud, a sticky, shallow trap I knew to avoid. Their engines stalled. They were stuck. I circled them in my airboat, keeping my distance.
Let them go!
I shouted, holding up the flare gun.
Or I light up your gas tank!
The leader laughed nervously.
You won't do it, little girl.
Try me!
I said, my voice steady.
I haven't had a latte in 3 weeks! I'm on edge!
I aimed. Suddenly, a spotlight blinded me from the sky. Whop, whop, whop. A black helicopter appeared out of the storm. Ropes dropped down. Men in SWAT gear slid down onto the poacher's boat. In seconds, the bad guys were on the ground, handcuffed. The helicopter landed on a nearby patch of dry land. A man stepped out. He was wearing a tactical vest over a suit.
Dad?
I screamed. It was my dad. But not lawyer dad. This was action hero dad. He ran over and hugged me so hard I couldn't breathe. Max and Otis were freed.
I'm so sorry, Bella.
Dad said, checking me for injuries.
Dad, you're a lawyer. Why do you have a SWAT team?
Otis laughed, rubbing his sore jaw. He ain't a lawyer, pumpkin.
He ain't a lawyer, Pumpkin. Your daddy is the head of the International Wildlife Protection Agency. He hunts the biggest poachers in the world.
Dad sighed.
The men who attacked you were a cartel I've been tracking for years. They found out who I was.
I sent you to Otis because I thought the swamp was the only place they wouldn't look.
I was wrong.
He looked at me with new eyes.
But it looks like you didn't need my protection. You took down 3 boats single-handedly.
He looked at the wreckage.
You're a natural, Bella.
The bad guys went to prison for a long, long time. Snowball was returned to his pond, safe and sound. It was time to go back to New York. I stood on the dock, saying goodbye to Snowball. I hugged his scaly neck.
I'll miss you, you big dinosaur.
I whispered.
A souvenir. You did good, kid. You're a true swamp queen.
Otis handed me a box. Inside was a necklace made of a single, perfect alligator tooth.
Thanks, Uncle Otis.
And thanks for everything, even the bucket shower,
I said. We got on the helicopter private this time. As we flew over the swamp, I didn't see a muddy hellhole anymore. I saw a beautiful, glittering maze that had saved my life. Back in New York, everything changed. I launched my own fashion line called Bayou Chic, featuring sustainable materials and faux gator skin. It went viral instantly. Max started a YouTube channel raising money for reptile conservation. And Dad? Well, he's still just a lawyer to the public, but I know the truth. I still wear my Prada shoes, but I keep my muddy combat boots in the closet, just in case I need to kick some butt. So, lesson learned. Never judge a book by its cover, and never judge an uncle by his lack of teeth. You never know when you might need to ride an alligator to save the day.
That's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!